Week 1 of the college football season in Atlanta, you got the Orange Bowl. Not the little Orange Bowl, but it'll be Tennessee against Syracuse, both rocking the orange. I don't think you can probably both wear orange uniforms. I digress. I can't wait for this, dude. I think it's one of the more under-the-radar, lower-key, big games of Week 1 of the college football season. If you're watching this, I got good news, I got bad news. And it's the same statement, is the good news and the bad news wrapped up in. You're a college football sicko, right? So I don't think you need to get that checked. I don't think you need to get any prescription. I do think you need to subscribe to the channel, though. I do think you need to be locked in here because it's college football year-round. We got your fix for you, all right? Because we're one and the same in that regard. So subscribe. Let us know what you think about this game. We'll have a prediction for you in this game here on the channel in the future. Let's break this thing down right now, man. 2 quarterbacks in Steve Angeli and Joey Aguilar that respectively pulling up to campus, figuring out where they're living, figuring out their spots to eat. Oh, by the way, here's the playbook games in a few weeks. No spring ball for either of these dudes. So the task here for both staffs is how quickly can you get these guys up to speed? Like, I'm so curious when you walk into this game, if you're Steve Angeli, if you're the coordinator for Syracuse, or if you're Josh Heupel at Tennessee, or just whatever, how confident are you in calling some real depth in this playbook? How many things are you carrying in from a game plan perspective? Because I don't doubt they'll get there during the month of October, but like when you got a game against another P4 opponent that absolutely counts towards your college football playoff aspirations, if you're Tennessee and you expect to get back there, it's not good to walk in with the clip halfway loaded. Not necessarily a recipe for success, especially not when you got Fran Brown on the other sideline. And I know the spread's 12.5. I get that. I, would be surprised if the spread doesn't start to come down here a little bit as we get closer to game time. I also would say I would throw the spread out the window when you got that dude on the other sideline. So to put it simply, for both sides, how much can you call? In addition to that, how much support do you have around you if you're Steve Angeli or if you're Joey Aguilar? Because last year, this is not to dunk on Nico, but it was a running game-driven offense. Nico was good. 19 touchdowns to 5 picks. He was good, did some stuff with his legs. But, Dylan Sampson put Tennessee on his back in multiple spots and carried that offense. In addition to that, the defense held up their end of the bargain. And so that kind of brings me to this next question within this game is which team has the fastball from last year still working? Like, for the front seven for Tennessee, that was top 5 in America last year. James Pierce looking fresh on draft night, getting drafted in the first round by my Atlanta Falcons because of what that defense was a year ago. Lose some pieces, lose some production. Is it still a tier 1 front seven? And Cato and I getting ready for this show, applying the Cato effect, as I like to say, he brought up a really good point, man. Is the defense for Tennessee, the trenches of the defense, now a variable that we can count on for Josh Heupel? Because, if you look at what they were in 2022 to what they are now, it's been every single year ratcheting that thing up to where last year, like, the defense led the operation. And we're at a point now where the personnel in that locker room in Knoxville, Josh Heupel has had a massive hand in bringing them in and also had a massive hand in their development. You're not questioning, oh, man, what is Josh Heupel as a developer, as a recruiter? We know what he is. Does that play itself out now in a consistent fashion on the field? Was last year like the crescendo, the peak where it all came together, or is it like, no, this is just kind of where we arrived at now? This is kind of where we're going to hang out. We got reservations to be a tier 1 defense, tier 1 front seven every single year. If that's the case now, hang on tight if you're the Syracuse Orange in this one. Hang on tight for Otto and for Steve Angeli and company. Now, the fastball for Syracuse last year, we touched on this already, but it was the offense. It was the passing game. Kyle McCord came into upstate, I have to believe, with, just Frito-Lays on one side and Doritos on the other. Just chips on both shoulders, if you're talking about Kyle McCord. And they lit it up. Led America in passing last year, did Kyle McCord. He goes to the league. Good for him. Steve Angeli transfers in. I have to imagine a similar brand of chips on both shoulders after not being the guy at Notre Dame, for reading between the lines here, after he waited his turn and led them to a college football playoff. They were, I don't want to say they were on life support, but he had a drive that kept them in their national title aspirations, if you will. Transfers to Syracuse. They they return 37% of the offensive production from a year ago. If you get into a spot where you can't move the ball against the Josh Heupel offense, it's going to be a very, very long day. Now, you bring in Jonte Cook via the transfer portal, former industry 5-star for us in the On3 industry rankings. So if he can pop a little bit and take advantage of Tennessee, who is losing 3 starters in the secondary, that's where this thing gets interesting. Because if you're Tennessee and you can play the brand of defense we just spoke to a second ago, You then give the offense some time to run the football, go back to their formula last year, take a second on the sideline. A punt isn't the worst thing. But if Steve Angeli comes out looking like Kyle McCord and Jonte Cook's out there catching touchdowns, celebrating in the end zone, and you apply the pressure to a Joey Aguilar to start to ramp it up a little bit, and maybe he goes into chase mode. I'm just saying, man, Fran Brown, I would not put it past him. I would not put it past him. A win for either side, I think, is actually pretty impactful in week one. Like for Tennessee, you're a double-digit point favorite in this game. It wouldn't mean that you're going to go make the college football playoff. Or it's not a win that you're not already counting on if you're a Tennessee fan. You do the whole win-loss thing preseason on your schedule to try to get to 10 to make the playoff or whatever number that is. But it would be kind of like a stabilizer, exhale kind of moment. Wild offseason. Nico's gone to the portal. A guy that took you to the playoff last year, his starting quarterback, no longer there. Joey Aguilar shows up. You look dominant on offense. You win the game. Cool, survive in advance. Let's keep rolling. If you're Syracuse, though, and you can beat Tennessee, y'all, the schedule, I do not know in what world the folks that put together the schedule for Syracuse were living in when they did this. It's brutal. But if you beat Tennessee, I think it at least changes your perspective on some of those games. Like you beat Tennessee, a playoff team, I think you look at the game against Clemson differently, against SMU differently, against Miami differently, against Notre Dame differently. I don't know if you're favored. I don't know if you think that you are going to go dominate any of those teams, but a win over Tennessee, you at least say, all right, hey, we got some juice to us here. And I think if you're either of those teams that have to play against Syracuse and you see them beat Tennessee, you probably perk your ears up a little bit and say, whoa, okay, like just like that. The lights are kind of going on and off like, whoa, hey, alert, got to deal with Syracuse. So all this to say, man, I cannot wait for this game. I know y'all can't wait for this game. Week 1 in Atlanta, it's going to be just absolutely electric factory. The People's Orange Bowl between Syracuse and Tennessee. Make sure you're subscribed right here to the People's College Football channel. Ball and nothing but ball all year long, man. Kato on the ones and twos. Myself, JD Pickell. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. We will keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time.